Hi, this is Vicki Hoefle, Director of Parenting on Track, and today I want to share a story with you about 5 decisions that I made as a new mom that really changed life with my kids. And it started from this idea that in every moment, we as parents are either interfering with the healthy relationship with our kids and their ability to grow into independent, self-reliant people, or we're enhancing the relationship with our kids and supporting their ability to grow into independent and self-reliant children. Now, clearly, for me, I wanted to make sure that in as many moments as possible, I was enhancing both the relationship and my child's growth towards adulthood. And here are the 5 decisions that really helped me do that. The first one was that I decided that I was going to spend the majority of my time focused on building the relationship with my kids. Like all new parents, I went to the bookstores and I found a whole bunch of books on how to love your kids and read with your kids, or how to discipline your children. But I didn't find a lot of books on how to build a long-term relationship with the children that would be in your home for 18 years. So I spent a lot of time thinking about the other relationships in my life and what made them good. And I applied the kinds of relationship strategies I was using in those relationships into the relationship I had with my kids. So the first decision I made was, I'm going to focus on relationship and not so much on learning the latest, greatest discipline strategy. The second decision I made was, if I am going to use discipline strategies, and it seems reasonable that from time to time I'll need one, I really wanted to use discipline strategies the way that they were intended. And that is to teach children self-discipline rather than to use a discipline strategy to try and control my children. Now, there's a big distinction. And some of the examples I give parents that I work with is, imagine that you're trying to get your 13-year-old to go to timeout. That's probably not going to work. Or that counting is a strategy that's actually teaching your children how to develop much needed self-discipline. So the second decision I made was, if I'm going to use discipline strategies, I'm going to use them the way that they were intended to be used, which is to help my children develop self-discipline. Okay, the third decision I made was based on watching my friends run around the house doing everything they possibly could for their kids. Now, they were waking kids up and getting them dressed and making breakfast and cleaning up after them and packing backpacks and unpacking backpacks and all kinds of things. And I thought to myself, well, gee, I guess that's not so bad if you like that job. But what I noticed was that these parents looked tired, frustrated, and their children seemed to be treating them, as if they were the maid in the house. So I thought to myself, if I'm the maid, if I'm running around taking care of everything for my kids, it means that I'm probably not emotionally available to them. And given the choice, I would rather be emotionally available to my children rather than run around the house and do everything for them, because frankly, it's faster and it's easier and we get it done the way that we like it. So that's the third decision I made. The fourth decision I made was again based on watching an interaction in a grocery store. And this really is just a microcosm of what goes on in families all of the time. And I watched this young 3-year-old throw themselves on the ground and begin to throw a Academy Award-winning performance temper tantrum. So there she was, screaming and kicking and doing all the temper tantrum-y kinds of things. And the mother leaned down and eventually, she started with, okay, I know this isn't very fun. You have 2 choices. You can stand up or mommy will help you. Girl ignored her. So mom went to, listen, I know this isn't fun, but I'm going to count to 3 and then you better get up. So she counted to 3, still no movement. Finally, she put her hands on her hips and said, listen, you get up off that floor or there will be no TV for you when we get home. Okay, this went on for about 15 minutes until finally the poor mom grabbed the child, who was really screaming now, and they exited the store. And I thought to myself, no one else in the world will spend 15 or 20 minutes trying to talk our children out of a temper tantrum or a crying jag or whatever else it is that our children do because they're children. And I made the decision at that moment that I would adequately represent to my children what they could expect from the outside world if they behaved in certain ways. I did not want them leaving my home thinking that other people would indulge them in useless behavior because I had indulged them. So that was decision number 4. And the 5th decision I made, which is probably the most important decision I've ever made as a parent, is this: that it is my job to make sure that when my children are 18 years, they walk across my threshold into their own lives with confidence and enthusiasm. I couldn't think of anything worse than sending an 18-year-old who had waited all these years to be on their own, only to find out that I hadn't trained them for all that life would expect from them. That in fact, I had made life easy. I had, done things for them that they could do for themselves. I'd indulged bad behavior. I had pampered them in ways that were hurtful. I really couldn't think of anything worse than my kid coming home at 20, knocking on the door, looking at me and saying, "Okay, I have no idea how to do this. What were you thinking?" I wanted my 20-year-old to call me on the phone and say, "Thank you. I am rocking my life right now. And that's because you had enough faith in me to let me make mistakes, try again, do it my way, make, choices that got me into trouble. But it's paid off in the end." So I decided that in every moment I was going to have to be mindful of the decisions I was making as a parent. So those are the 5 decisions that I made. They're the same decisions I've been sharing with parents for 20 years, and they're all based on this one idea, that in every moment as a parent, we're either interfering with the relationship with our kids and their ability to become independent, or we're enhancing that relationship, and we're making sure that our children are prepared when they leave our homes at 18. My name is Vicki Hoefle, Director of Parenting on Track. Thanks for listening, and if you need any more information, check us out on parentingontrack.com. I'll see you there.